Yeah.
I do. I mean, God, I was about drooling when you were telling me about it, and I was like, no.
We do actually still have some, don't we? We've been sitting them. We want to release it for some, maybe for our anniversary again and that kind of stuff. We do actually have some still.
Well, if you're willing to sell me a bottle of it, I will totally buy that.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I want to try that. That sounded amazing. The double smoked cherry sounds really awesome too. Is that one? That's done, isn't it?
It's in the barrels right now as far as the wood version, but the one that we released for Mead Day is all gone.
Oh, okay. Well, I want some of the one in the wood too. So
yeah.
Because those both sound really amazing. So I mean, it just I was really impressed. I mean, you guys had some amazing meads, and for having been open, it'll be a year next month, right? No, October.
October. Yep.
And for having been open just under a year, you're already knocking it out of the park with some really serious high quality meads. I'm really impressed. And dry. I mean.
Yeah, it's fun to start pushing people in that direction. It's really everyone's really taking to it because the stuff that we are taking totally dry, like that cucumber basil. We called it. It was everybody kept calling it. It was like it was spa water, so we ended up calling it swamp water.
That makes good sense. Yeah.
Totally.
Right.
Of course, it means something totally different to a college person, but that's a whole other story.
Oh yeah.
But no, everybody took to it really, really well, and they almost don't notice it's completely dry just because of how refreshing it is, and it's got the carb, and we keep it nice and light.
And the nice thing is the cucumber added just a touch of sweetness to it as well.
Mm-hmm. But like weird
more of a nuance
sweetness,
more of a nuance type of way.
We got a question for you guys. My friend Doug, who's over in the Netherlands, and is thanks Doug for staying up till God only knows how early it is. It's really early for him.
It was like 7 hours away, right?
It's like 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Yeah,
ridiculous. Yeah, he does this periodically. But he wants to know how long do you age before you release your meats for sale?
Depends on the product.
Yeah, like for barrels and stuff, we pretty much let the barrel talk to us about that kind of thing. Like constant tasting, always watching it, of course, and big on doing topping off. So you fill up where the angels take or whatever that is does, and then for regular just production stuff.
We have a little bit of a timetable with it, but I mean, I still say that it's a general rule of thumb that you just kind of let the product speak to you on it. That at least that's how we do it. When it tastes right and when it's ready, Yeah, that's when it's go time.
With using real fruit, like those strawberries that come in might be totally different than the last strawberry batch, and so like we taste as we go, and that can be a little troublesome, like consistency wise. But we get it to the same level consistently. It just might not be consistently 2 weeks only or something like that. Those strawberries have to be in there for 3 days, and we got to get them out. Like it, just depends on what it tastes. It doesn't work because like agricultural products, they will change every single day on us. So it just depends what was going on, where they came from is huge, and what the deal with them. So it can vary all over the place.
I like the little bit of variedness, though. It kind of lets you know that it's real.
Yep.
Yeah, it does, and I mean, I love that you got a real hands-on. You literally got your hands on it all the way through the process, and you're testing it at every stage to see is it where you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we're pretty kind of weird and scrupulous about it.
Yeah, taste every day.
Cool beans. So, AJ, you want to pick up the question, or would you rather just hang out since you're half asleep? I know it's hard.
Actually, my computer's half asleep. And apparently now I don't get the show page. That's great.
Okay. Well, no worries. I mean, you go ahead and get things pulled up. But
actually, one of my usual questions: do you have a preferred yeast for general use, or do you select your yeast based on the specific must?
Specific
absolutely changes.
Like what we're just doing this beet mead, so it's a 15.5% beet mead. All Detroit beets, and we used a Saison yeast with it. and because we want like those light peppery like clover notes in the background with the beets, and champagne yeast with some of the lower stuff just because of the nuances that the yeast leaves, and a good speed of fermentation.
Yeah, so you never know what it might be, and it totally depends on the character or what we're doing. We had the beet mead was weird because we were like, all right, what goes with beets, and how are we gonna balance this out, and what's it gonna be?
Should be interesting to see if it's day glow pink like the one that I judged.
It's blood red. Death red.
Nice.
I'm sure you guys have heard that story. God knows I've told it enough times. Yeah, I tasted a beet mead. I hate beets. I mean, hate the smell of beets. I don't, sugar made from beets I'm perfectly fine with, but just beets themselves, raw, cooked, any way, hate the smell, hate the taste, don't like them. And somebody handed me a beet mead at the Mazer Cup, was year 2 or 3, and said, here, try this, It's just the mating call of the mead maker, and so I tried it, and it was amazing, and it turned out to be a medal-winning beet mead. And the thing was, I kid you not, like neon pink. It glowed in the dark. It was so pink.
Yeah. That's what we're hoping.
Yep.
That'll be really cool if it is. I'll have to. If it's as good as that one was, I'll get a bottle of that. It's the only way I'll eat beets is if they're made into a mead.
It's a good choice.
Doug was asking, while we're on the subject of yeast, are you guys keen on 7-1B? A lot of mead makers seem to like it because it's a pretty solid yeast.
Used it.
I'm not the biggest fan of it, but when you want like a good, clean, neutral yeast, there's nothing wrong with it.
It has its places, some in various batches.
Okay.
But I don't know. I like to use other stuff other than 71B.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in particular that you guys gravitate towards?
It can vary. It can be all.
Yeah, it's literally, it changes almost per batch.
Yeah.
Because like right now we're testing out ale yeast and seeing what that does, and
we just get to do a lot of testing and see where different things land and what we can do. The carbonated or like hydromel rather, just like the low alcohol stuff, definitely takes different than the big stuff.
Okay, and of course the question I always ask: have you guys ever blended the yeasts to see if you could get them to work together to make something cool or different?
No.
I don't actually have very much experience with that.
No.
Funny enough, never.
There you go.
Now we know what they're going to be doing next,
And it's all Manny's fault.
And it's all Manny's fault, yeah. So.
I'm going to get all the meaderies to try it.
There you go. Yeah, if you can just get them each one of them to give you a bottle of what results, then you're going to be good to go.
Yeah, that should do it right there.
Yeah, won't ever have to buy meat again.
Let's not go that far.
We don't want that.
Yeah, let's not talk crazy now.
Yeah. Calm it down.
We just got Hamish back. Doug is saying BM 4x4 is a blend by Lalvin that he likes to use. It's good for meth blends. So.
Huh.
Yeah.
We're secretly writing it down.
Can't see them over there scribbling.
Have you got much experience with some of the more finicky ones like RC212 or that sweet mead yeast that everybody's always decrying?
That sweet mead yeast was like way back homebrew day, and I wrote it off immediately.
Yeah. Was never too kind to me personally.
Yeah, it was not very kind.
Yeah, I've used that once. So, and that was one time too many.
Yep.
And I'm not much of a sweet mead guy.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
That's cool. Have you tried the 1388, the famous bomb yeast?
No.
I don't know if they've heard of the
Makes
bomb.
that? No.
Yeah.
It's a 1388 is a Belgian ale yeast that's famous on Gottmead anyway for Bray, one of the Gottmeaders. Did a whole big test with a bunch of Belgian yeasts and found that this one fermented the cleanest and made a 30-day mead. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
right now I'm actually drinking one that I started with that yeast. I started it beginning of June, and it's not clear yet because I've been remiss in my duties of stirring it daily, but it tastes pretty damn good for, 2 or 3 month old mead.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
You
and
get
this
nice
is
heady notes?
if you go to denardbrewing.com, he's got all his notes that he's put up there.
They're also available on the forum too. I was double checking everything when I was starting my bomb.
Okay.
Yeah, so just
So it's-
Google BOMM and you'll find
It'll,
heaps.
yeah, all
Well,
over
act-
the place.
Actually, if you do a forum search for the Belgian yeast testing, I think is what he called it when he was doing the experiment, you'll find the raw data and all his tasting notes when he did a batch with a whole bunch of different types of yeast and the same honey, the same procedures, and he's got all of his tasting notes. It's quite scientific.
Yeah.
I remember it being called the Belgian yeast experiment, but something
Probably.
you should find it.
Yeah. And I mean, the neat thing is that from pitch to drink, it's literally 30 days,
Nice.
and it's
And that's for a 14%er?
no, it's not. I don't think he's taken it to 14. I want to say he's taken it to more like what, guys, 11, 12, something like that.
Well, it's about a 12 average, but it can be I step fed one all the way up to 18.
There you go.
I was going to say, can you push it or not?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I mean, Belgian yeast is pretty resilient, but the neat thing is that it's temperature tolerant, it's fairly stable, and the best thing is that you mostly get a clean ferment. If you manage the ferment, that's obviously you want to do that, but
Well-
it's an interesting concept, and he's been trying it with all kinds of different recipes, and every single one is coming out great.
He's also published on Gottmead a listing of what specific gravity to start at if you want such and such a finishing gravity.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on how sweet you want it, here's how high you start.
In case
Yeah,
you
and
guys
I-
haven't been there, that's the Gottmead forums.
Yeah,
Cool.
and I've taken it all the way dry, like to past 1.0, and it's good. It just doesn't. You can't make a bad mead with it.
Nice.
Nice. Oh,
I'm sure I could if I tried hard.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm sure you could, yeah. But yeah, it is a very tolerant overall recipe structure. So
I'm sure there are limits, though.
yeah, there always is. Hey, come on, we've seen people ruin
Yeah, Jome. Yeah.
Jome. So it's if they can ruin a Joe's Ancient Orange, you can ruin anything,
Well, I
push
have,
it to
but only
21%.
by not following the recipe.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys went straight from, well, in some cases, you went straight from nothing to professional, but you also went from making it at home to going pro. What was the catalyst that said, oh, okay, well, let's just go ahead and start a business?
needed jobs.
And this is just what it had to be.
Yeah. What else are we gonna do?
This is what we know how to do. So
It's what we're passionate about.
yeah, and day one, setting the place up, it was already just like everybody knew what had to get done. Just because we know the business and we knew everything. That was just obviously learned just a ridiculous amount along the way. But as far as the day-to-day running of a meadery, that's something that that's just what we know.
I think that's as good a reason as any for starting a business, wanting a job, going straight for it. What the hell,
Right.
That is
That
very
was
cool.
done working for people.
Yeah, no more working for other people.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question from Joel here. He says Hazel Park isn't on the tourist maps, and drive-by traffic can result in a shootout. Your marketing must be really tuned to get awareness of your business. Any advice for someone wanting to set up in a similar, less popular town?
It's not that bad of a town.
Joel's such a smart ass.
I think he means populated rather than popular.
I love it here.
Let's say, let's say first, Joel Dane, why I go out the front door.